Helix and Snapshots. Yeah, I'm like, I don't know, 7 years too late. Snapshots were introduced in the Helix in like 2016 at some point. Might have been 2017, and the Helix came out in 2016, or the Helix came out in 2015. Snapshots were introduced in 2016. Regardless, they've been around a while, and I've touched upon them a few times in various videos, but I don't know that I've done a specific video on fiddling with snapshots. So that's what we're gonna do. Oddly enough, I've gotten some questions on how snapshots work and if this or that or the other thing would work in snapshots. And I say ironically or surprisingly because there are a lot of great videos out there on snapshots, but you know, we like to hear different people's views, perspectives, and explanations on how to do something we might have watched someone else do or 5 other people do. I know I do that, so I figured let's just do a video on it, and I'll walk you through kind of how I mess around with snapshots inside a Helix. I'm gonna be doing it on my Helix Rack. Same thing can be applied to both the Helix Floor and the Helix LT. This is gonna be a long one, and I didn't script any of it out because, you know, it was sort of building a fresh preset on the fly so that you can see every click, every slider, every sort of setting I mess with. So let's head over to the computer and get into it. Okay, cool. So snapshots. Now I'm just going to create a preset basically, and this is not so much about creating a preset or like my process into doing that. This is about showing some examples of what we could do to utilize snapshots and how it can be beneficial and what sort of things you need to click and slide and move around in order to make it work. So that's what we're gonna do. This far in the video and you don't know that, you're not paying attention. Cool, so we have a fresh preset here. All right. Now, let's create sort of our bass is going to be a heavy tone. So we'll do the heavy tone. We'll make a lead tone for that. And then we'll see if we can like bring down the gain and do like a clean tone or maybe even a dirty tone. Cool. So let's start with a cab. And I'm just going to use an IR that I've been playing with lately. And yeah, cool. And we'll bring in an amp. Going for a heavy tone, right? Let's just go to what I know. It's not about the tone here. We'll bring in a overdrive. Cool, it's working. This is going to bug me. So let's just put this back on. Hi, how you guys doing? Should I keep these little weird moments in? Probably not, huh? A lot of you guys like to judge every absolute thing that's in a video. All right, so we got like a core. Now, let's move stuff over to clean it up a little bit. A lot of you guys who follow me know that I like the room reverbs. Well, with the new 3.15 update, you have HX quality classic reverb. So we got a dynamic room, Haven't had much time to play with it, but that's what we're going to use. Bring it down to about 15. We just want like room ambience. That's still a little much. Cool. Let's tweak this tone just a bit. I want it kind of girthy, if you will. You know, we're just messing with these settings. Because when we create the different sounds, we're going to, you know, alter them. All right. So this is our bass tone, right? So let's just name this something, I don't know. Basic Betty. Now we want to be able to be in the same patch. And obviously with my Helix Rack, this is a little, you know, I don't want to say pointless, but yeah, a little bit pointless, right? I don't have the floorboard attachment to go along with my Helix Rack, but these principles, you know, if you got a Helix LT and a Helix floor, are going to be exactly the same. And the principles behind it and how a lot of it is done on the HX Stomp the same way as well. So take that into consideration. I'll show you how to do it with an HX Edit, which I think a lot of us are probably creating our tones inside of it anyhow. So I want a parallel path for like a lead tone. You guys have seen me do this before, but so I'm going to bring in a delay, like the dual delay, bring it down here, bring it after the cab, right? And then we'll bring in more of a lush reverb. See how this sounds? And I want this to be the stereo dynamic hall. Hi guys, it's Nick. So I'm editing this video and realizing that for some random ass reason, my screen capture recorded the audio in 7.1, but not in the cool way. It put everything on the center channel. So these reverbs and stuff kind of still sound pretty mono. Luckily, this is not a tone video, right? We're just kind of going through snapshots. So I just want to let you know, if you're hearing things a little weird, you're right, things are a little weird. Should I go back and re-record this whole thing? Debatable, but we're not going to do that. So I hope you can accept my most sincere apology and deal with it. I love you. Bye. Now you have to think about creating these presets a little bit differently since you're using a parallel kind of a thing. Typically, if you're running things parallel, you want the mix to be 100%. No, let's just play with that, right? You know, there's no right or wrong way to do this. I know for a fact I'm going to bring this level down here, right? Let's see if we bring the mix of this reverb. So I'm going to bring the mix of this down just a bit. We'll bring it down to 70. Again, this is not a tone creation tutorial per se. Let's bring, so this one, when I'm talking about creating a parallel chain, so the lead blocks, the blocks being used to create the lead tone are on the B path, right? So that's our rhythm tone. And then we bring in the B level. Bring this up. And I know this has got to come down. Huge reverb. Say that's what I'm going for, right? Okay, cool. So I have the components in place for my lead tone, right? Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch this to snapshot 2 because that's the snapshot I'm going to use for my lead tone and have everything in place, right? Cool. I saved it. I'm right clicking and I'm going to rename it to lead. Now we'll go to snapshot 1 where I don't want any of this second path, this B path, audible. So what I'm going to do is right click on the parameter. You can click, right click on any part of it, the slider, the numerical value. You're going to go down to snapshot, okay? And you can see that the value is now in brackets, highlighted in white. So, and you can also see over here, it's represented by a snapshot is controlling one of this parameter, this particular parameter. So for the rhythm, we're going to bring it all the way down, right? We'll save it. I'm going to rename this RTM for rhythm. Now we have our rhythm tone. Could probably bring this up a tad. Cool, so this is our rhythm tone. I saved it. Now, when we go to our lead tone, you can see that these, if we go back to here, now our level is back. So I'll show you that again. Now there's keyboard shortcuts, so it's Command 1 and 2. So Command 1, Snapshot 1, which is our rhythm. The B level shuts off. Snapshot 2, our lead tone comes back into play. Cool. Now, let's say on our rhythm, on our lead tone, we want a little bit more of a boost. with the Scream 808 we have, right? So again, we're going to go to the particular parameter. We're inside of the snapshot. We want to edit in. Right click on the particular parameter, in this case, the gain of our distortion pedal. Right click, go to snapshots. Now, we tweak this up just a tad. Again, I'm picking an arbitrary amount. It's not a tone creation video. Now see, I just made a change and I didn't select snapshots. So that's gonna be applied across all of it, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So we'll hit save, and I moved the tone up to 7.6 from 5. So if we go back to our rhythm, the gain goes back to 0, right? But that tone stayed at 7.6 that I made. You could say it's like a global adjustment inside of this preset. If you do not right click and select the snapshot option, then it's going to apply it across all of the snapshots in the particular preset. It can get a little confusing, right? And that's fine. I would normally want the tone up a little bit more, so I'll keep it here as my rhythm. Cool. But I do want to boost that a little bit in my lead snapshot. So we'll switch to the lead snapshot. Our gain has gone up like we wanted. Right click, snapshots on the tone. Now I'll drag this up to just 9. Again, just doing it for the sake of showing you stuff. Cool. So again, command 1 to go to snapshot 1, which is our rhythm. It's just our rhythm. The gain on our distortion pedal goes down. The tone goes back to 8 on our distortion pedal. And inside of our mixer, the level of the B processing channel is basically turned off, -60 dB. Go to our lead. We see the level come back up. Our parameters have changed inside of our overdrive pedal. Then we got our lead. Groovy. Now, let's say we want to try and get some sort of clean channel along with this. So let's think about this. What are we going to want to do? Well, we're probably going to want to turn down all of this lead processing stuff. So let's go back to our first preset. We can right click, copy. We'll go to snapshot 3 and we will go paste. So it pastes the settings in snapshot 3 from snapshot 1 in which we copied. I'm going to rename it. Let's call it dirt because it's probably still going to be a little dirty with this particular amp. Now you can add another amp potentially if you have enough processing power left. Now obviously this isn't a Helix Rack. I can create a whole nother set of processes down here and chain them up together and have twice the DSP available to me. But I'm trying to keep this within one path, if you will, one DSP chip. All right, so we're in our dirty channel. I want this off. So this is another thing you can do. You can just bypass effects, turn off our distortion block. I'll hit save, Command S to save, or double hit the save button on the Helix Rack. I'm gonna bring the drive down. So before I do that, right click on drive, go to snapshots, right? We'll bring this down, see what we get. Now the badunk does not respond well to not having so we're going to get sort of like a dirty rock tone. Beautiful playing. So we'll hit Command S to save it, or you can go to this folder button, hit OK, or you can go to File, Save Preset, but we're saved. So Command 1, Preset 1 is our rhythm. Command 2 is our lead. And our dirty, Command 3, Snapshot 3. So let's do a little experimenting. Let's see if we can add another amp to kind of be more suited for a clean tone, right? So we're gonna have to move some stuff around. Well, let's do this. Yeah, we don't have many options because we have a lot going on here already. So we sort of backed ourselves into a little bit of a corner using both of these verbs, the delay, we got an amp, we're at what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 blocks, but I'm sure that reverb blocks are sucking up a bunch of, DSP. So I don't have much I can do in way of, yeah, we're kind of screwed here. We kind of screwed ourselves. Which happens, So I guess one of the advantage of having a Helix Rack is you have more DSP power. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go to the output and go down to path A. So now we're taking advantage of our other DSP chip. So the signal is going to run through all of this stuff through here. So now we can use this to add even more to our one-stop shop preset, right? So if we want more of a cleaner kind of clean portion of our preset, we need a different amp here and we need a different impulse. So I'm gonna turn off this amp, turn off this IR, turn off this reverb, and remember, this is already turned all the way down, so we don't need to worry about this path right here. Now, I wonder if instead of turning the level down all the way, if we turned off those blocks, if it would free up some DSP and we can have a second amp. So let's give that a try. We're experimenting on the fly here. So it's fine. Let's go back to our rhythm. Okay, cool. Now let's go to our 4th snapshot and we'll do a little experimenting there. Dirty, lead, rhythm. All right, so we'll just call this clean straight up and see what we can do with it. So in this preset, we're gonna want to turn this off, bring this down. Now let's see if it lets us add another amp block. It doesn't. I thought maybe we would get away with it. Now, I bet if we were using an amp block with a cab, because I'm using an amp and an impulse response, right? We could get away with something like this, but we can't, as it stands right now, you can't switch your amp models. Let's try it. Right, we'll save it. We'll go back to 1. Yeah, see, it changes the amp. As something I knew, but I wanted to kind of demonstrate. Let's bring back our badunk. Or, even better, we're gonna adjust this sort of on the fly. Let's bring an amp and a cab back in so we can get rid of this impulse. We'll go to our badunk and no, amp cab, dude. Badunk with, I like the Uber T75. We'll use the 57, the distance of like 5 inches I've been digging. Cool, again. I mean, we got to tweak it a little bit, right? All right. So I think we probably freed up. So we've changed our amp. We've added an amp and a cab block. Let's see how our lead sounds now. Now, one cool thing about doing this is we can now make some adjustments to the mic placement, the distance, our high cut and low cut inside of our cab block. We're not going to do that right now, but you could. Let's see if we can bring in, we can bring in a preamp. Interesting. So if we were to move this here, bring in a preamp, doesn't give us any, that's weird. So basically we did not save us any DSP power. I would assume that these new reverbs are sucking up a lot of headroom as far as DSP space is concerned. So let's go to our clean. Well, the thing to do nowadays is to not even send your clean tone through an amp, just straight guitar into an impulse oftentimes. So if we got our clean, we're gonna turn this off. Let's bring down the drive. Even better, I got an idea. Let's turn this off, see how it sounds. So we got this really pristine, super, super clean because we're just basically going straight guitar. I wonder if we could add a cab. Just see how it sounds. We are officially in a wormhole. So let's just go with this. You know what? Let's just do that. So straight guitar into, we got our room reverb. Let's introduce our I forgot we turned these off. Let's see, can we bring in a compressor? We can. Okay, before we waste a whole half an hour, and you can rely on your pickup changes to sculpt your clean tone. Now, yes, let me again explain. I can rebuild this preset and have it switch amps, but because I'm trying to stay within the one DSP chip, the one path, so that you could probably duplicate this inside of HX Stomp, like I started the way I did. Pretty dope. Pretty dope. So we'll save it. We'll go back to our Rythm channel. We might have to turn this. Yep. So because I enacted that compressor, we're going to have to turn this off and save it inside of our preset here. And we'll go to our lead, and you can see that it's back on in our lead. Turn it off and save it. Cool. So now Command 1, our Rythm channel. Lead. So here's the downside of doing it the way I've showed you so far here by just dropping the level. The tails of the reverb and the delay just completely disappear. So let's make an adjustment to how we created it. So we'll go back to our lead. $11.8. So what I'm going to do is right click on the parameter, go up here to none. And now it basically turns it back into a global parameter, a global setting, meaning that the level of the delay and the reverb on this second line is going to be across all of them. So if we go to our rhythm, our lead, our dirt, we don't want that, right? So let's go back to our rhythm. Sorry about that little menu flashing up. And we're gonna turn them off inside of our rhythm and hit save. And we'll go to our third dirty channel, turn them off and hit save. Now our clean is gonna be affected by this too. Now we might not want that much. So what we'll do is come to the mix, right click, snapshot, bring it down. Delay. How's that actually? Yeah, so same thing, right click, snapshot, and we'll switch it to, 70. Right click, snapshot, 70. Hit save. Now we'll turn the tail on here and turn the tail on here. Hit save. We'll go to our lead. Tails are on. Oops, Command 2. Tail is on. Tail is on. Cool. Now when we switched back to our rhythm, the tails of our lead sort of snapshot will continue, and it won't just be a complete cutoff. So I fucked up there. What'd I do? Yeah, I turned it off accidentally. So the lead's sort of cascading over into the rhythm. Here's our dirty. Somehow I accidentally turned off the room reverb here. Is this on? Yeah, I don't want this on in the dirty channel, so Command S. And I want the mix of this room up a little bit more. Right click, snapshots. Cool. Clean. Command 4. You can see our compressor turns on. Rhythm. Dirty. Let's turn this down a little bit. Clean. So now we have a rhythm channel, a lead channel, a dirty channel, and a clean channel all in one preset. And if we were in a live scenario switching with the pedals on your floor Helix or the HX Stomp Helix LT, you would get a seamless transition between all of these parameters changing. When you're switching preset to preset, and I have no easy way of demonstrating that with the rack, but there's always a little bit of a kind of a click off and then a click on real quick. So we have this saved, right? So it's saved. We'll go to a user bank with a bunch of, presets already. All right, so if I go to here, and I'm going to switch, and you'll hear the difference that it makes switching from preset to preset. You see that slight gap can really throw people off, and it can be jarring. Now, in the context of a full mix of a band, some people might not notice that, but having snapshots and utilizing snapshots allows you to get all the different sounds you could possibly want for a particular song even, and not leave the preset once and not have any gaps in your set. Rythm. Let's turn up the channel volume inside of this snapshot because I hear that the lead gets a little quiet, right? There we go. You see, we discovered an error. When I switched the amp, it did not adjust. We screwed up the level of the drive. So we got to go back to snapshots for the drive and bring it down, right? Didn't realize that. So here's our rhythm again. You can see the drive went back up. Here's our dirt. Let's say we had a little too much bass. Bring that down. So let's go to this dynamic and bring the level down just a touch, because you could hear when we switched to the clean, it kind of jumped up in volume. So we right click, snapshots. We're doing this in real time, guys. All right, we saved that. So, Rythm. It would be a lot cleaner of a demonstration going preset or snapshot to snapshot if I was doing it with my foot, because I could be playing and then leading into the next part. So that's on me, and I'm sure somebody will let me know about it, right? You always do. Anyhow, this has got really long. This is just a use case, one particular use case. And this is something that I do with some of my presets. Even if I'm recording with a preset, I'll create different snapshots and just not even leave that preset if I don't have to. Kind of speeds up the workflow, speeds up your process, keeps you in the creative flow. And, you know, I think it's pretty dope. So that's how I play with snapshots. I warned you, it was going to be long, and I apologize. And it was probably all over the place, but it was very raw and real-time type of a demonstration. So I hope you got something out of it. I hope you find it helpful, and you know, you can apply some of these things that I tried to explain, some more clearly than others, on how to build snapshots, your own snapshots, how you might be able to use them in your workflow. Thank you guys for watching. Appreciate you being here. Special shout out to those of you supporting me over on Patreon, and of course here as members on YouTube. And if you're looking for ways to support me, the channel, and what we're doing here, I of course have music for sale on Bandcamp and streaming everywhere music is streamed. I also have various types of merch, whether it's my own personal Nick Hill brand, if you will, or for Wells, the project I'm working on with my good friend Stephen Barton. We have merch for that too. In case you didn't know, links will be down in the description. Thank you guys to all of you who've bought merch over the years. It's nice, it's very supportive, and I really appreciate it. And a huge thank you to all of you who have purchased preset packs in the recent months, weeks, and of course over the years, because those have been doing very well, and I made them to be helpful, and it seems like they're helping you guys. So I'm grateful for that. So thank you guys for showing me support in that regard. So now that that is all said, I'm getting a little bit long-winded, so I think I'll end it here. Thank you guys for watching. Take care of yourself, be useful to someone, and we'll see you in the next one.